Have you ever wondered what separated the rich people from the poor people? It's not the money, it's not the big houses, it's not the fancy cars. The reason why the rich people get to live the most amazing lifestyle they want as opposed to the poor people that are just struggling to get by are in fact because of these 5 things that the rich people do that the poor people don't. So today, my fellow freedom fighters, we are going to go over the 5 things the rich people do that the poor people don't so that you can decide which one you want to be. Reason number 1, they depend on self-education as opposed to formal education. If you want to get good at basketball, who are you going to take advice from? Someone like Michael Jordan or someone that has never dribbled a basketball in their entire life? Now, if you want to lose weight and you want to look sexy naked, who are you going to take advice from? Someone with a six-pack or someone that is 600 pounds that is 1 cupcake away from exploding? Now, it's the same thing with wealth. The problem with society and the problem with the education system is everyone teaching you how to make money, from your professors to your teachers to your friends. They do not have the results that you want, which makes perfect sense why you see everyone graduating college in a crap load of debt, not knowing what they want to do, and at the end of the day, they don't actually get out of their debt until they're 65 years old. And if you depend on formal education for your own success, then you are literally digging your own financial grave. Now, what you need to do, my fellow freedom fighters, is be like the rich and start depending on self-education, because while formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. It's no surprise that Warren Buffett, worth more than $75 billion, one of the richest men in the world, reads upwards to 500 pages a day. And it is no surprise that Bill Gates, worth upwards to $85 billion, another one of the richest men in the world, reads up to 50 books a year. So these are kind of people that you want to emulate their results, right? Oh yeah, bro, most likely. And that's exactly what you guys got to do. So immediately, my fellow freedom fighters, you need to find a way to implement self-education into your daily habits. For example, what I do, I wake up, the first thing I do is I read 10 pages of a book in an industry that I want to learn more in, and I will also listen to 30 minutes of a good audiobook so that I can just listen to and get my mind start pumping and the creative juices flowing right when I wake up. Now, here's the main difference with formal education and self-education, where with formal education, you learn for 4 years so that maybe one day you can start applying in the real world. With self-education, the secret with it is the speed of implementation. So when you are reading these books, when you're listening to these audiobooks, you're not just learning and saving up and hoarding all this information so that you can take a test. Your test begins the moment you are done reading the page or you're done listening to that audiobook. And the people that succeed the fastest are the ones that are able to take in all this information and apply it right away. Now, the problem with all you guys that are taking this the wrong way and you're like, oh, I just need to read books all day and I need to listen to audiobooks all day, is you're not applying anything you've learned. So that makes it no different than formal education. What you need to do is take one little thing, one little action step that you could take from either the book you read or this video that you're watching, and apply it immediately the moment this is done. Don't dilly-dally, don't wait. Literally, the moment this is done, you need to marry action with the idea within 5 seconds. The second thing rich people do that poor people don't is they need to find a way to separate their earning potential from time. So I came from a family where my mom, she was a nurse. She worked 16 hours a day just so that she could pay the bills, just so that she could help me and my little sister go to college and get a proper college education. But I knew what the 16 hours did to her, man. She was sad, she was broken, she was depressed. I knew that whatever I found out a way to ever make money, either a job or making money online, is I knew that I didn't want to work 16 hours a day. But then what happened? I got into e-commerce, and everyone else that was doing e-commerce is they were working 10, 12 hours a day, analyzing ads, product research, and stuff like that. And instead of living their life, they were living in front of their freaking laptop screens. So immediately when I got into the industry, when I got into e-commerce, I knew that I didn't want that type of lifestyle. So whenever I did anything or I learned a new skill, I wrote down notes like crazy, kind of detailing the exact process that I would do on a daily basis for the specific jobs. For example, for product research, for ads management, for customer service. I knew that each one of these things had certain processes that I know if I could just write these down and record them with like a video screen recording software, that I could literally hire these jobs out to people that could do these better. And that's exactly what I did. I saw the things in my business that I didn't like. Oh, I hated product research. I hated uploading a listing on a freaking Shopify. I hated looking at my ads. So what did I do? I learned as much as I could about each topic. I wrote down specific notes, and then I went to this place, Upwork.com, where I literally put out a listing and had someone see if they could fulfill the task that I was able to do. And slowly and surely, I hired one person, then a second person, and now there's 8 people helping run the e-commerce stores and the MikeVasile.com brand. And now I'm able to have the freedom of actually doing whatever the hell that I want to do. But it never really started like this. But the reason why it did is because immediately, right when I knew I got into making money online, I wanted to separate my time from my earning potential. I want to be able to make money while I eat, sleep, and shit. So immediately, my fellow freedom fighters, find a way to separate your time from money. There's a bunch of links in the free freedom financial resource in the link below. But with that, just make sure you implement that into your strategy when you're creating wealth for yourself. Reason number 3, their biggest boss is their calendar. In 1998, Jerry Seinfeld, the popular comedian, made $267 million. There was no typo, there was no miscommunication. It was literally $267 million in 1 year. 1 fucking year. Now, he wasn't special, even though he was freaking hilarious. The thing that separated him and him being ultra rich as opposed to every single struggling poor comedian out there was his habit of making his calendar his freaking boss. What he did is he had this huge calendar of the entire year on his wall, and every single day he made sure that he would do a little bit to actually get better in his comedy. He would write jokes every single freaking day. It didn't matter how good the jokes were. It didn't matter how bad the jokes were. He just knew that at the end of the day, he wanted to write a little bit so that he could go up to his calendar and make a big X for that day. And his goal was to do that every single day, so the X's on the calendar started making a chain. And his biggest goal was to not break the chain. So when people wonder how the hell he was able to make $267 million in a single year, the secret wasn't in his geniusness. The secret was in his calendar. He made sure that every single day he showed up. It didn't matter if he was in the zone. It didn't matter if he was in state. It didn't matter if he was confident in the fact that these jokes were funny or not. He just made sure and put it into his habit that every single day he was going to show up. And today, my fellow freedom fighters, you got to ask yourself, are you showing up every single day? Are you putting in the time and the effort and paying your dues and working in your craft and honing your message or finding out a way to make money online? Now, the problem is most people aren't. They are too stuck on the first way, and they're reading books and they're listening to audiobooks, but they're not actively doing anything to get better. And how you make more is you get better at your skill. That is the only way you make more. So for example, with this MikeVasile.com brand, you may not know this, but I write every single freaking day. Do I publish every single video? No. There are some videos that absolutely suck. But even though I was able to do that, I was able to write every single day so that I could give you the best possible content available. And if you can see right here, my schedule is written in front of me, and I'm literally 1 month ahead of schedule with every single video that I have scheduled. Meaning I can literally just not make any videos and just do whatever the hell I want to do for an entire month, and everything would be automatically published so that I don't have to do any work. If you take care of your days, the weeks take care of themselves. If you take care of your daily processes, your years will take care of yourself. But the biggest thing, man, is a lot of you guys don't have work on your freaking calendar. Most of you guys don't have action steps on your calendar. So today, guys, I recommend either getting a calendar or maybe just an app on your phone, or just getting a simple piece of paper and writing down the things that you need to do today. Not just reading, not just listening to audiobooks, but what action steps can you do today that will get you closer to your goal? Do that today, my fellow freedom fighters. The fourth thing that rich people do that poor people don't is they are producers instead of consumers. Now, what do poor people have in common? This one specific characteristic. They buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. While the rich people see all these poor people buying things they don't need to impress people they don't like, and they sell them that shit. Since everyone else in your life right now doesn't have the results you want, why on earth would you do what they're doing? Most people, they are spending their money like crazy. They are consuming from the economy. They are taking from society. They're taking value, they're taking value, they're taking value, and that is why a lot of them live overinflated lifestyles severely fueled by debt and credit card payments. Instead of focusing on consuming things, you need to be a producer. You need to add value. You need to produce results. You need to help people with their problems and offer them solutions, and that is how you make money in this world, by being a producer as opposed to a consumer. So how do I be a producer instead of consumer? Well, number one, I live a minimalistic lifestyle. I barely consume anything. I live like one of those ancient Spartans where all they had had was their shield and sword and just like a piece of cloth to cover their private junk. I sold everything that I had back in the States. I moved over to Thailand. I could literally live here off of a couple $100s a month, and I could live a lavish lifestyle, eating out every single meal and just doing whatever the hell I want to do. On top of that, instead of me focusing on buying and instead of focusing on me buying that fancy car to just impress all the people that I don't really care about impressing, I focus on producing. I focus on selling more than I do in anything else. And on top of that, I'm focusing on providing value because I know how the law of the economy works is the more value you put into the marketplace, the more you will get paid in return. And then, my fellow freedom fighters, when I am producing for the next 4, 5, 10 years, when maybe I'm like 30 years old, that is when I could start consuming. That is when I could start buying the car that I want or the house that I want. But right now, guys, I'm 23 and a half years old. I do not really need anything. Do I need that Rolex watch? No. Would it be nice? Yeah, it would be freaking nice. But do I need it? Ask yourself, guys, there are things in your life that you do not need, and it is just merely a want. What you need to do instead of focusing on that is focusing on what other people want and what other people need, and being the person that brokers the deal and just gives them exactly what they need. And that's just how you can be one of the rich instead of the poor. The fifth thing that rich people do that poor people don't is they focus on building a personal brand. Now, what do Michael Jackson and Tim Ferriss have in common? They have a strong-ass personal brand. Michael Jackson, for example, in 2016 made $825 million, like I've said in the previous videos, yet he's been dead for a long-ass time. And Tim Ferriss used to make around $70,000 a month with his e-commerce store, but he was also working 15 hours a frickin' day. What is the point in all that money if you do not have the time to spend it? But the moment he created the 4-hour work week, and the moment he started building his personal brand started doing the work for him. His blog started doing the work for him, and as more of his content was out there, it was like a piece of him was working, but it wasn't, because that work was done years ago, and now he is still reaping the benefits of work that he's done a long ass time ago. And the reason because of that is because he focused on his personal brand. Now, whatever cash flow business that you decided to do in the free financial freedom resources in the links in the description, you need to also work on your personal brand just as hard as you do working your cash flow businesses. So if you're doing drop shipping, focus on building a personal brand on drop shipping. If you're doing Amazon FBA, focus on doing a personal brand on Amazon FBA. If you're doing affiliate marketing, oh, you guessed it, focus on building a personal brand around affiliate marketing. And as your personal brand grow, and even just getting paid from these YouTube ads, right, you could start making passive income on the side that starts separating your time from money and starts making you part of the rich instead of the poor. So hopefully that helps, guys. Really cool question for today. Which one of these habits are you going to implement starting today? And if you like this video, don't forget to like and comment on what you like best, and don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the notification bell so you get notified of new videos when I release them. And for everyone else, I will see you guys in my blog. Mike will see you later, guys.